and welcome to Sibos 2025 in Frankfurt. I'm Hannah Wallace, and joining us in the Finextra TV studio now is Simon Eacott, Head of Payments at NatWest. Simon, it's good to have you in the studio again.
Great to be here again, Hannah.
And of course, we're talking about G20 and the progress being made in this space. It's at the heart of a lot of discussions over the course of Sibos. Tell us, what are some of those specific initiatives that are being rolled out by the G20 to improve efficiency and encourage transparency in cross-border payments? And we'll begin there.
No, great. I mean, in some respects, it's why many of us are here, is to improve that cross-border customer experience, to make sure that it is fast, transparent, safe, clearly, and you've got that visibility in end-to-end customer journey. The G20's got a big task because, by definition, it's a global body or an amalgam of global entities that's trying to produce a framework within which the industry can operate to reduce that cost, to increase that transparency. And it sets some fairly ambitious targets in terms of reducing the cost to the consumer, reducing the time taken for money to move from one account in one country to another account in the beneficiary country. And those targets are quite aggressive across a broad spectrum of different aspects. So it's a really good initiative. We're very supportive of it. It's made some good progress, which I'm sure we'll get to, and we need to keep the focus on it.
Well, as you say, they're ambitious targets, so could you share some of those tangible examples, area of progress you're seeing from the G20 in reducing cost as well as time of those international payments?
Yeah, I think the first thing to say is that the whole initiative has taken a very fragmented market and approach and started to bring some collaboration, some consistency, and some just bringing together of different initiatives so that we're all aligned behind some of those high-level principles and targets. I think probably the ones I would call out, certainly the speed aspect, how fast it gets from one account to another account cross-border, has improved remarkably over the last year or two. Still a bit of a way to go on some of the cost targets, but probably the one I would call out more than anything else, and it's almost become embedded now in every conversation, is the move to standardisation of message types. So the famous ISO 20022, that's now been embedded in many countries and in the cross-border environment as well, and that certainly helps achieve a lot of those targets. So that's probably the one big step forward I would call out.
All right, it's good to hear about the progress being made. Of course, there's always going to be regulatory challenges as well. Take us through those challenges that G20 are experiencing, how they're addressing them, and what it means for the cross-border payment systems as well.
Yeah, it's a great question, because there is no single one regulatory body that encompasses the whole of the market around the globe. So it has to be almost a coalition of regulators in the different jurisdictions, all of whom have got their own individual requirements, whether that's around cybersecurity, whether that's around AML, whether it's around fraud and the like. So actually what it is needing to do, and is doing successfully, is lay out principles by which all the different jurisdictions then sign up to, and so a framework is produced, and then individual bodies are tasked with implementing different elements to it. So it's trying to sift through that difference in the jurisdictions, making sure that everybody buys into the outcomes that we're seeking to achieve, and then implementing them in their own way in the individual jurisdictions.
It's going to be interesting to see how that space develops internationally as well. And what about emerging technologies such as blockchain, stablecoin, digital currencies? What role will they play in G20's strategy to improve cross-border payments?
Well, that's certainly been the main topic of conversation here at Sibos all week. I don't think I've been into a session or a meeting with clients or partners where that's not been in the top one or two in the agenda. So I think the simple answer is it will undoubtedly play a part because of the ability for that technology to move things quicker. Again, the transparency issue and the ability to see things through end to end. So the capability is there. But what I would be very keen to make sure is that it's not the technology that's necessarily leading the customer proposition. the technology will undoubtedly help, but there are a lot we can still do around the way that banks service their own customers and what they put on different channels. So it is a massive part. I don't think anybody has yet got a clear view as to the role of stablecoins, as the role of CBDCs, but the technology will undoubtedly help, but we need to get that customer piece absolutely sorted up front.
Well, thank you very much for sharing those insights. They've given us a real overview of the progress being made around the G20. I'll let you get back out there to share those insights with the rest of the delegates, but Simon, as always, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.